Salisbury Center, we are ready for our next fight. Making his way to the cage and fighting out of the red corner, it's Jacob Donahue.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Cagezilla 85 as we bear witness to the entrance of Jacob Donahue.
Oh, yeah. Now, there's a little history behind this fight here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Jacob was supposed to fight another guy who a couple days ago informed us he had an injury that he couldn't be here. And his opponent tonight, Kadin Smoot, coming out of enlisted 9, had an opponent that also weighed in tonight, or yesterday, sorry, but he weighed in 8 pounds overweight. So, I recommended Jacob to come in and weigh in anyway. I'm so glad I did, because we got two guys here that made the 170-pound limit, and the guy who missed weight is out, the guy who was injured is out, and the two guys who were disciplined and made that 170-pound mark are ultimately getting in the cage together, and I'm happy to have it. Disciplined athletes inside the Cagezilla cage, and Jacob, not a guy you want to play with. I mean, this guy's been inside the cage before. He's a veteran in our armed forces, and no joke, no nonsense fighter here coming out of the lab MMA. Let's get the blue corner inside the ring, inside the cage.
And his opponent, making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Kadin Smoot.
And shout out, of course, to Smoot here for coming on out, as you're saying, doing so kind of in the last minute, of course, prepared for a fight, disciplined for a fight, but now up against a very dangerous opponent that he was not expecting to face off against. How do you think this is going to go?
Oh, man. And like you said, not expected to face, right? Like two guys, two warriors that, 48 hours ago were not scheduled to fight each other, right? Like even 24 hours ago, we're not scheduled to fight each other. And for them to accept this fight, all comers, right? Anybody that will make that 170-pound, mark. And it's worth noting that, Kadin's coming in here as a debuter. He's coming out of a great gym and enlisted 9 with expert coach and UFC vet Colton Smith, putting Vaseline on him right now. And, man, I'm so excited to see this showdown inside the cage, man. Two great gyms, the lab versus enlisted 9. And, man, two guys that I'm really excited to see inside the cage, and they're going against each other, man, and they were already scheduled to be on this exciting card, just not against each other. And what a treat for the fans here.
Absolutely the case. It's great that we're getting so many new gyms coming into the fray to compete in Cagezilla, but when it's two veteran gyms with two fantastic fighters, you know that the sparks are going to fly.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the Cagezilla welterweight division. It is brought to you by our friends at Tony's New York Pizza, simply the best Italian dishes in Northern Virginia, and Mike Pignoni, the defense attorney of Northern Virginia. And now, starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5'11" and weighing in at 170 pounds, fighting out of the lab, it's Jacob Donahue! And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, sitting 5'10" and weighing in at 170 pounds, fighting out of enlisted 9 Fight Company, it's Kadin Smoot! Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the Cagezilla welterweight division. It is brought to you by Tony's New York Pizza and Mike Pignoni, and your referee is Gabe the Logic.
Oh, let's go. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely expecting a banger coming through here in this fight. Got a real striker here in Donahue, also able to take to the floor if he needs, but I am expecting for this to at least start on the feet, and I want to see both of these guys show a lot of discipline in their strikes, because I think if one smells blood in the water, we're about to get a crazy beatdown.
Yeah, wow, nice jab coming out here from Jacob. Oh, a nice 3-2 coming out of Kadin. Kadin looks, for his debut, just looks so savvy and confident. Nice uppercut that stunned him. Oh, wow. Kadin's really starting to connect here, and again, looking calm and exploding in all the right times.
Kadin Smoot looking pretty stylish, pretty confident here on the outside. An incredibly relaxed stance. Jacob Donahue a little bit more locked in, trying to go on the rotate. But I like the fact that Smoot's playing as reactively as he is. And now coming in, a withering set of shots. Donahue trying to find space, going to go over, tries to go for the takedown. It's immediately reversed.
Wow. Wow. Hit him with the lat drop. I saw his coach Colton Smith. He was smiling ear to ear when he hit that, and now he's giving him some great advice here, and probably recommending that he keeps this nice controlled position and eventually starts to work in some damage.
Yeah, and we're going to see what Donahue can do from this awkward position here. Trying to go for a little bit of a headlock, but I like the proximity of the torso that we're seeing Smoot from up top, keeping up against his opponent, not allowing for leverage or an ability to really slide off or otherwise pivot under. And that is going to keep good shoulder control over to his side, perpendicular to the body of Donahue. He's trying to navigate up, get the knee by the head, and start raining down some shots.
Wow, yeah, nice get up from Donahue, but man, his face is showing a little bit of wear and tear already from those shots that he's taken.
Absolutely the case. I do think that Donahue has been getting the worst of a lot of these exchanges, both striking and in terms of takedowns as well. And I'm a little bit worried about how he's going to sustain throughout the rest of this fight. So far, Smoot barely looks like he's even having to catch his breath.
Well, I don't know if you guys mentioned it already, but Donahue looks huge for 170. And Smoot looks like a much smaller fighter, but he is really raining down some shots with power and accuracy.
Yeah.
And I thought that early in the first round here he had Donahue really stunned and really in trouble.
Wow, looking beautiful, and I like how he uses that uppercut. He comes over with that right hand, then comes under. Nice double leg.
Oh, just the confidence is incredible.
Wow, you can tell how well trained he is under enlisted 9 and Coach Colton Smith there. And man, he is looking sharp tonight. Does not look like he's the one that's making his debut.
And this is one of those situations where I think right now what's going through Donahue's head is, oh gosh, I got 2 more rounds of this. And as things get broken up here in round number 1, all I'm going to say is that it didn't look like Donahue was able to get a single step forward up against what Smoot was doing. This has been a dominant demonstration of control from the blue corner.
Yeah. Jacob's got to come up with some answers here, figure out a way to possibly get good position, good top position on top of Kadin, maybe get him to the ground. He hasn't shown the explosiveness in his hands yet to connect on Kadin. Kadin looks like a damn tiger out there right now. And man, Coach Colton Smith probably can't be happier out of his debut. Look at him. He said, look at him. Look at him. He said, look across the cage. I heard him say it. And man, Kadin must be just enjoying it and soaking in the moment right now. He's got to be, and he looks so poised for a debut guy. We saw another debut guy earlier tonight, Julian Zeraldo, that looked the same way. I just spoke with his coach before here, and I told him what a great job. I was proud of him, and really, really surprised here with Kadin Smoot as well.
Yeah, Smoot coming out of nowhere. Like I said, no real chance to review footage. Throw it into this fight up against Donahue, who's already was developing a reputation in his own right here in Cagezilla, but he is taking all that and more. Let's see whether or not he can keep this up, or if Donahue can turn the corner here in round number 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's not count Donahue out too quickly. He's got a strong coaching staff in his corner too.
Absolutely.
And he's tough as nails.
Yep. Former Marine as well. or active Marine, and man, he's not a guy you mess with. Definitely not out of this fight, and he's been inside the cage before. So we'll see if his experience can help pay dividends for him here.
Donahue back up against the cage side wall, and look at what we're seeing out of that Smoot, just laying into his opponent. Multiple shots. Donahue goes down, and it's over.
Wow.
I'm telling you right now, that kid is an assassin. He is extremely accurate with his strikes.
Wow.
Incredible. I would love to know the shots landed count on this fight, because it has got to be through the roof for him.
Kadin Smoot.
Incredible.
Kadin Smoot giving him the boot.
Look, all I'm going to say is the guy who missed the weight, Brent, has got to be watching this footage and thinking, thank God I missed weight, actually. I was 8 pounds over. I did not want to face that.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Kadin and his team accepted the fight regardless, with the guy being 8 pounds over. So let's just put it out there that he accepted the fight, okay? And we moved the fight around because Jacob Donahue actually made weight, so we felt he deserved to have it. It only made sense to have these two 170ers in there, but ultimately, let's not forget expert coach there that he has in his corner, UFC vet Coach Kadin Smoot, wasn't afraid to put Kadin in there against a guy Weifu Fanjing who's got more than 5 or so fights inside the cage. He wasn't afraid to put Kadin in there against him, and he wasn't afraid for this switch over. He wasn't shy about this switch over to Jacob Donahue, who also has experience inside the cage before, against his debut guy Kadin Smoot, and now I can see why. So yeah, great stuff from Kadin Smoot. This guy is a complete beast, and moves up to 1-0. But I can't wait to see him back in here, and I'm going to do what I can to get him back here inside this Cagezilla cage. Nothing but respect to. Look at the sportsmanship. I know I spoke with Jacob Donahue before the fight here, and he was talking about, being in the military. He's trained with some guys that had listed 9, and they've been associated. So let's send it down to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Gabe Balajian has called a stop to the action 40 seconds into the second round. For your winner, by TKO, out of the blue corner, it's Kadin Smoot.
Great stuff from Kadin Smoot. He should be very proud of himself in that debut. And man, sky is the limit. Moving on to 1-0, everybody's going to want to see Kadin inside the Cagezilla cage once again.